Okay.
Not very professional.
That's all right, you're learning, no problem.
So where were you between the years of 74 and 76?
I had just moved to London in 1974 from Reading, and I was working in, had 3 jobs. I was working in Heels, I was working backstage at the Victoria Palace, and I was doing various singing engagements at various parts, and yeah, that was it. I was working in Heels, Good Liberties wouldn't have me.
Yeah. If you could sum up that time of your life in a sentence, what would it be?
Full of hope.
Okay. How did punk have an impact on that period of your life?
It was influential because I was in at the beginning, as it were. I was singing at the time in a club called Blitz, which went on to become very famous, and for the New Romantics, another sort of artistic movement, I suppose you'd say. And 2 girls used to come in looking very ordinary, and they'd disappear downstairs to the toilets, and then they'd emerge, possibly like butterflies from a chrysalis, in black bin liners and terrible makeup. That's not a very good image, is it, butterflies? It's not very colourful. But anyway, that was the beginning of punk, so naturally we thought, the people I was with thought, well, what's going on here? Yeah. So we explored.
And weren't they going to a place called the Roxy?
Oh yes, yeah, they went to a place called the Roxy, run by a chap called Andrew Tchaikovsky. And Susan Carrington, not Sue, Susan Carrington, and they had this punk club, and it was unbelievable. We'd finish at about 10 or 11 in the evening and go down to this place, and they were all going away and pouring beer over each other and spitting, and we thought it was fabulous because it was so anarchic and such a contrast from what I'd been doing, which was Cole Porter.
God, I wish that I could have been born then.
You never know what's around the corner.
Now it's boring.
It'll get better.
I hope so. And didn't he go on to open a very big club called...
the Fridge in Brixton, which was in 2 locations actually. But he's always been a great music promoter, and him and Susan, they're great fun.
Did they work much with the Sex Pistols?
I think they probably did. I mean, I think they've got a book coming out, but I'm not sure. But they their fingers were always on the pulse.
Yeah. Did you meet any of the Sex Pistols or the Bromley contingent, and what were they like? Were they nice? Because, kind of like looking at the makeup and things, they look quite intimidating, but is that how they were in real life, or...?
From what I remember, I mean, we were drunk a lot of the time, but from what I remember, they were young kids. We all were, actually. I mean, they were slightly younger than I was. I was 22 or something like that. And they would have been, 19, 20, something like that.
Yeah.
So they were just enthusiastic, young, creative people,
Were they more, approachable than their image suggests?
I would have thought so, yeah. Because we were all in the same business, really.
Yeah. So. I'd have loved the chance to meet them, but I'm worried that, I'd see the makeup and think, oh God, please be nice.
It's all image, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's all image.
Sorry, I'm just checking. Yeah, it's still going. Oh yeah, didn't you say that you got to meet Susie Sue?
Oh yes, she came to the Blitz, Susie Sue, she was lovely. Still is, as far as I know.
Have you met her again?
No, she went on and became famous, didn't she?
Yeah.
And fabulous. But Malcolm McLaren and Viv Westwood, they're great. He's unfortunately dead, but he bought me a drink not so long ago, and off stage it is image. It's particularly, with that, it was a product and an image, although it had a big political background as well, an artistic background. I mean, they're serious about that, but people are ordinary, really, aren't they? Really,
Oh God, I love them. God, the closest I've ever come to doing that sort of thing is the time that I put on like Clockwork Orange eye makeup on one eye, and then I was walking around, and I quite liked it because you put on like this persona.
That's right.
And it's so much.
It's a
fun.
mask.
Yeah,
it's
precisely.
a mask. Talk to me if you dare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the Bill Grundy episode on telly, and what was your reaction?
I didn't see it when it went out live, but obviously we heard about it, and it was on news programmes after that, because we were out making the news rather than watching it.
Yeah.
But we all thought it was hilarious and marvellous.
Yeah.
I think it was a setup, wasn't it, in the end? Or did they say?
I mean, it turned out that Bill Grundy was really drunk. I mean,
I didn't know that.
They kept them waiting in the green room for ages.
And he kept goading them, didn't he? He tried to get a reaction.
But they gave them lots of alcohol, in the green room because they kept them waiting forever.
Yeah.
And it's pretty stupid, actually, because, it's like you wind them up and then...
Of course. Light the blue touch paper and retire immediately.
Yeah. And he probably thought it was all going to be contained, but then it blew up.
Yeah.
And I think, well, unfortunately, that ended his career, but he didn't seem to be a very nice man.
What can I say? Journalists, huh?
Okay. Did you see the Sex Pistols live, and what was that like?
I think we must have seen them at the Roxy, but I described that earlier, but I never went out of my way to see them. We kind of got it.
Yeah. I guess because I don't know. I mean, my interpretation is that their message was more aimed at the adults, to kind of shock them.
Yes, yeah. So in a way, they were preaching to the converted, weren't they? And also, because the main influence, apart from their music, which I mean, is not really very beautiful, is it? But
no.
It was the fashion, the seditionaries' fashion and sex in the King's Road, the shop. Everybody used to go on about that. It was fabulous. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh my God.
And all the bondage trousers and everything.
Yeah.
It was, because it had never been done, it was extraordinary with all the straps across the trousers, the safety pins, and oh look, there's a punk with their fantastic Mohican haircuts and things like that.
Oh God, it sounds incredible.
It was.
Was it kind of... I don't know, I mean, from what I do know about the 70s, there was a lot of poverty at that time, and I mean, safety pins before that, they'd have, said, you're too poor to, you have to mend your clothes like that, but they were actually taking it back and
absolutely.
Making it,
That's exactly what it was about,
purpose.
I think. Yeah, absolutely.
And also about how, anyone could do it.
Exactly. It was very democratic in that way,
so
if that's the right word.
It weren't so much about, the stars being up here and the other people being down there. They were trying to, bridge the gap.
That's right. Amazing. You can spit on me and I won't be insulted.
Yeah.
You can pour your beer over me and I'll enjoy it. So it was like, what's the word? Reclaiming. Yeah. Reclaiming it.
What other music did you like?
I've always liked all music, really. I don't like atonal particularly, and I didn't particularly enjoy the punk music, I have to say.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for its, from my point of view, comedy value and the fact it was being rebellious. That's what I enjoyed about it. But I've always liked classical and other world music, so long as it's good, camp stuff like Ema Sumac or Eartha Kitt or, a very wide range of stuff.
I mean, on my iPod I've got everything, literally from S Club 7 to the Sex Pistols.
It's good. I mean, a lot of classical musicians say, why put boundaries these days?
Yeah.
So they play jazz and as well as the classical stuff, and they venture. It's not always successful, but they do it, which is great. Music's music. Yeah.
What was your clothing style like back then? I mean, what would you wear, I don't know, on a night out?
Well, I was working quite a lot, so when I was doing cabaret, it would be a sort of androgynous 1930s, 20s-ish look. So I'd have a pink beret with pink peg top trousers and
Yeah.
a black shirt, stuff like that. So it looked a bit, as I say, 30s Berlin, I'd say.
Oh, I love that, like cabaret.
Yeah,
look.
yeah, and lots of makeup.
Where's
I looked like a Nicaraguan prostitute in one hour when I dyed my hair black.
I bet you looked fantastic.
And then I went blonde. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Can I ask quite a personal question?
Try it.
I mean, part of what appeals to me about it is, well, I'm bisexual, and I think it was great that back then, you just like breaking down the barriers of what it meant to be feminine or masculine. I mean, are you that way inclined?
I'm gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gay.
All right, me too.
You must have guessed.
I don't know.
One never knows unless you're told. But.
I don't like making judgments, so I try and ask people as much as possible.
Yeah, it was only 12 years before, wasn't it, that the Wolfenden report, it was legalised and stuff, so there was still a lot of hangover from them.
I think the 70s, I mean, part of the punk movement, it did a lot for, making it, just putting it out there and making it.
Although the hippies did quite a good job in the 60s, free love and all that.
Yeah.
I suppose that might have been to do with drugs as well.
Yeah.
LSD and all that fun stuff.
It kind of like levels everything
Yes,
up.
yeah.
Sorry, where am I? Oh, wait. Yeah, it will still be recording.
There it is, 11:53.
Okay, what was the craziest outfit you ever wore? Would you say?
During the punk period or ever?
Well, first of all, I don't know.
Are we narrowing it down to the punk period?
Yeah, let's start there.
Craziest outfit. I'm just trying. I honestly can't remember that one. The craziest. I mean, later on, there's quite a few, but during the punk period, I was too busy doing a cabaret really to do stuff. I'm just punk. Everything I'm thinking of is post-punk. I mean, when I first started singing in London, I did a drag act.
Yeah.
And I had a different hat for every song. Yeah. So one of the crazy outfits was I made my entrance as an Art Deco lamp. So with a greyhound on not a real one, on a stick, and like Erte, the Erte designer and drapery and a great big Russian hat and things like that.
What was that for, and what particular act was that?
That was a drag act where I just used to have a different hat for every song. So,
and this is kind of straying from my
story. It is. Sorry,
Sorry.
I was digressing.
Oh no, it's all right. I want to get as many stories as possible.
Okay.
But I was going to ask, what brought you here? I mean,
to the LCC.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I ran out of money. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting so much work, and the work I was getting wasn't paying so much, which is a common thing.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was getting £50 a night, which was a lot of money in those days.
Yeah.
At least we're talking about the 70s. I mean, I don't know what the exchange rate was in those days, but they're still offering that kind of money, and it's worth about £15 now. So it was becoming economically unviable.
Yeah.
And I was getting older and not enjoying it so much anymore. So
just kind of a natural tailoring.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I don't know if I want to revive anything or retire. Do you know what I mean?
You should do like a comeback in the student bar.
How can you come back if you've never been away?
That would be amazing. And what I'm thinking of doing is having like a fundraiser, because all the stuff going on in Russia at the moment.
Yeah. I'm
thinking of, because I found a charity online, and what they're doing is they're actually raising money to help people. I need to find more about, what it's actually doing. But I was going to, I don't know, organise like an event.
All right, well, come back to me on that, and I like to be asked. It's very nice, so we'll see what I can do.
Live music would be great.
It's always good. Always good.
Okay, sorry. How did your parents react to the punk movement? What did they think? Did they take it in good humour? Or?
I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I should I should think it was eyes rolling heavenward and a tut.
Yeah.
They'd been through the war, so
Yeah.
I shouldn't think anything was too much of a surprise to them. I'm sure they didn't really understand it.
Yeah. It's all about the time and place and your age.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. What more do you think punk made on society and pop culture? I mean, I know that's kind of a big question, but
It depends how far away you go from it. I mean, the further you go, the less important it is, or will seem. But it was original. It was groundbreaking, I suppose.
yeah.
I mean, there are all these social movements that you can compare them with. The Flappers in the 20s and Les Incroyables after the French Revolution, and
Yeah.
these groups of young people who express themselves through their clothes and through their music and what they think is rebellious.
Yeah. Is there anything that's happened since that you don't think would have happened if it wasn't for punk?
That's a really good question. I think probably the New Romantics wouldn't have happened. I think that was an extension of it.
Yeah.
You know, a glamorization of it, really.
Spandau Ballet? Or...
Those kinds of things. So, yeah, I think that wouldn't have happened. What's happening now? I mean, there's not much, is there, really?
Kind of boring.
It's retro.
Yeah.
You see, there were other movements in the 70s. If you look at Bieber, there were retro to the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
You know, padded shoulders in the 80s. You know, those kinds of things. And people looking back to punk now, and you see a few.
The thing that bugs me is that it all seems so manufactured. You know, I mean, I feel like, you know, you've got all these little puppets out there and their managers are saying, all right, we're going to do a punk thing with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's lost the raw feeling.
Exactly, yeah. And they're all music, they do cover versions of music and it's ironed out.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just
pale imitations.
bland.
Yes, yeah.
And, I mean, I still find a lot of music catchy, like new music, but it doesn't really... It's less of an art form now.
Yes, I
it's
agree.
Just,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just more like a soundtrack to when you're in a club or something.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think the ultimate message of punk to society was? I mean, if they were all getting together and saying one thing, what do you think it would be?
I think at the time it would have been Churchill's salute reversed.
Yeah.
The two fingers up.
Yeah.
And now I think it would be the middle finger up.
I like that.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, well that's everything that I wrote, but yeah, thank you so
Good,
much.
Katie, it's a pleasure. Good, nice talking to you.
And you.
And what this is for your thesis or your...
I'll show you the book because this is what I'm doing my essay on.
Ah, right,
And
okay.
It's fantastic.
Oh, what, Berlin Bromley.
And stuff he's writing, it's only like 2 years of his life, but it's amazing.
Oh, who's Bertie Marshall? Do I know
He was
him?
one of the Bromley contingent. And
Oh, I see, yes.
if you look at like some of the pictures in the book, and yeah, he's got pictures of Jordan and...
Oh, yes, yeah. Do I get a mention? Has he got an index? I bet it hasn't. I get a mention in... How dare they? No. How dare they? I've always been on the sidelines, you see, kind of observing. Oh my
You should
God.
write him and try and get, I don't know, write like an epilogue to it or something.
I should do.
That's what Boy George did because he was mad that he wasn't in the book, and then he made him rewrite it so he could write an introduction.
How fabulous. That looks
Yeah.
good.
Oh, it's great. I'd really recommend it.
Oh, good.
It's easy to read as well. It's not one of those where you really need to, you know, work hard to understand it.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. I'll check that out. Good.
Okay then, well, thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. I'm going for one.
I really enjoyed that.
Good, I did too.